So welcome to the latest episode of Chilling with myself, Tom Gaymor, and I'm delighted to say that joining us tonight is Team FordZilla driver Jack, and Jack all the way from Milton Keynes, the hub of British motorsport, shall we say. Thank you very much for joining us. Just tell us a little bit about yourself initially, how old you are, how long you've been into sim racing, and how you got into it as well.
Okay, so yeah, I'm Jack, Milton Keynes, as you said, 25 years old. I got into sim racing from basically I do real racing. I started racing for real, following my dad and my brother's footsteps. In 2013, I started racing then. In around 2015, 2016 time, there was a simulator venue nearby me, which had all sorts of race sims hooked up with 15 simulators. So I used to start going there, and I've started really enjoying it. I used to do a lot of race events, and they started doing quite some esports events, and then started getting quite serious and realized I've got a little bit of talent, so maybe I should try and get a sim at home. I've got a sim at home about 2 years now, so about 2018, and then only last year, I think it's about January time, I think, can't quite remember that, I then eventually came part of Team FordZilla. So yeah, it's been quite a cool little journey. Yeah, just racing's in my blood, so that's just where I'm at.
To be aligned with a professional team, but also that Ford branding, you've talked about your career today. That's a big jump. That's that's a great opportunity for you. How did it come about, and how do you feel wearing that branding now and with that opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, first off, to get the opportunity to be in this team is mind-blowing to me, to be honest with you. I just saw sim racing as fun and a way to practice for real life, and then I got a bit more in depth with doing a bit more championships, and then there was a thing that I found on Facebook. It's really funny, that my friend tagged me in. Go to this Red Bull Gaming Sphere, which is where they hosted time trials and lap time competition to be in the Ford's esports team. And I was like, that sounds really cool. What a chance that would be. And I looked at the date, and it's like a Wednesday and a Thursday, and it's in London. I obviously work on Wednesdays and Thursdays in Milton Keynes. So I was like, I'm not going to be able to do it. It's no way I'll be able to make it. And I looked at the times, and it finished at like 9 o'clock. And I was like, I wonder if I could get a train down there and make it just on time to see if I could do anything.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, and it's like using games that I've never used. I don't know anything about. I just thought, well, let's just wing it and go. And I think I arrived at like 8 o'clock. So I had an hour, but obviously there was a rota of people that would doing laps. And I think I had 2 or 3 goes at the thing. I tried, it was Gran Turismo Sport on the PlayStation, a game I've never used ever. So it was a bit like new to me, but I gave it my best shot. I think I didn't actually win the day. I got second on the day. I came second to Cammy, one of our other teammates. And I was a bit gutted, like, come all that way. I was like, but they're really friendly people there. And they said, look, we're really impressed. I think it was only a 10th off Cammy's time. They're really impressed, as I said, seeing as you don't use the game as well. Like, let's take your details down. And I thought, maybe they're just being polite, but next thing you know, is a couple of months later, it was a month later, 2 later, I think I got an email, and I was like, do you want to be part of the team? And it's like, wow, okay, this is
Reread that.
Yeah,
is this happening?
So yeah, it's
that's a fabulous story in itself. You don't get anything for free in this life, and you have to go out there and put your name in the shop window and make that effort. So the fact that you did that, it would have been so easy just to go, I'm tired, or I can't do it, or the fact that
it
make your own luck
to get out there, get a train down there. And I didn't even eat dinner. I literally had no time to go and eat dinner. I just went straight there, beeline from work, and got there in time, just enough to do a couple of laps. And there we go. I suppose that commitment was all that was needed.
Local and global events, is that pretty much the calendar for the FordZilla team? And will you do Le Mans, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that is 100% our goal. We'll obviously be getting our best driver lineup for the team. This year that we were supposed to be getting a drive, I believe, but for some reason I think something else got pulled out of it, and we didn't, as a team, get a drive for the event, which we were really gutted about, seeing as we wanted obviously the Ford brand inside of such an iconic event, really. But that's brushed aside now. I think next year they'll see us come in and we can give it our best shot, let's say.
You'll just have to not do the graveyard shift. It's hard.
They're my favorite. They're my
Like
favorite.
for it. Have you done 24-hour races then?
Yes. So prior to being in Ford, I used to race with a team with just a few friends and stuff, really. And we've done numerous like the special events on iRacing. So you get like the 24-hour races and the 12-hour Bathurst and all sorts like that. And I used to always put my name down for the graveyard. There's just some sort of weird thing about it that's more appetizing than doing a dasting. It's that thrill of like, I should be fast asleep, but I am racing, having adrenaline pumping through my veins. So
and it's a time in the race where you can really pick holes in other people as well, because people do make mistakes. You can make a lot of time in the night. Absolutely. You just don't get that smell of barbecues or that dew or anything that you get in the real world to sort of wake you up when you start smelling the bacon and sausages at sort of 7 in the morning.
I've done a couple of 24-hour karting events as well, and that's hardcore. That is really hardcore. And doing the graveyard shifting, that really puts the men amongst the boys, let's say.
And how do you find, from a fatigue perspective, maybe not as physically tiring, but actually, it is, you find yourself, I mean, I get arm pump on the sim when I've been in the simulator. It is a lot more physically demanding than people think. But do you struggle mentally as well with the screens? Do you feel any of that compared to the real world?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I run VR as well, so it is fairly straining if you're having it on your head for a long period of time. And
that's cool, the VR.
Yeah,
I get seasick.
There it is.
Do you not get seasick? Obviously not.
I used to get headaches when I first got it, and then they sort of went. But I've been told a lot of people have that sort of similar thing. But my dad, he's tried it, and he can't last 5 minutes without feeling terrible afterwards. He says he feels sick for about 2 hours afterwards.
Yeah. That'll put him off.
Yeah, it certainly has.
It's amazing though, because you can look up, down, across. The technology is mind blowing.
Yeah, it's great. When I first tried it, what I had in my mind was like you put the VR on and you just look at a screen.
Yeah, like a big cinema screen.
Yeah, that's literally what I thought it was. And I put it at my friend, someone I bought my first steering wheel off, actually. I just had like a single screen set up when I first got a sim at home. And then I had like an old Logitech that the force feedback was all broken on it. So I managed to buy this old Thrustmaster wheel off of a friend of mine. I went over to his house and he just bought a big direct drive, which is the reason why he's selling it.
Yeah.
And he said, "Have you tried VR?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I'll give it a go." Put it on. Wow. Mind blown. Like, what is this? Like, I didn't even know this existed.
Yeah.
And it just, like you say, you can literally just look around in your car. You're sat in a car. Like that immersion feeling is second to none.
And do you reckon that improves your feeling?
For sure. I mean, that's the immersion thing for me. Like, if you can feel like you're there and you can block out everything exterior away in what's going on around. Yeah, it gives you that, just you're in the car, so you don't have to think about anything else. I mean, this simulator venue I used to race at, they had triple screens. Triple screens is great, but you still have that thing where when you're in a venue, there's people walking behind you and they're sort of there, and like you thinking about other things.
Walking past with a burger and chips, you know, it's a
Yeah,
massive distraction. Do you
exactly.
mind?
You can smell them. You can smell them buying takeaways and bring them in when you used to do the
I was
endurance.
purple, and now I've gone off, you know.
And it's then distractions, you know what I mean? But when you're in VR, you completely forget. You're zoned out and zoned in, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And is that the most expensive bit of kit you've got?
Not
or
actually. It's my direct drive wheel. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. So I mean, how much does a direct drive wheel set you back now?
Well, I bought mine a few months ago. I think it was about 1,300 quid with steering wheel.
Yeah.
I've recently bought a fairly new steering wheel as well. I've got another one mounted to my wall actually.
Good.
But yeah, it gets quite expensive. But when you do it so much and it's such a massive hobby, it seems just the right thing to do.
It's not expensive in the greater scheme of things, though. If
No,
you think an iPhone is £1,000, or you buy a MacBook's everything's £1,000 nowadays. So in the greater scheme of things, it's not. And how much is a PS5? I'm showing my age now. You can't get hold of them this Christmas. How much are they?
I literally don't know because obviously I'm PC now. I don't really
Not. And touching on that point, esports versus gaming. Do you you came from the real into esports to get that experience? Did you game as well before that, or do you do any do you play whatever it is, Sonic the Hedgehog, or whatever it might be?
Yeah, I mean, I used to have, I still have my Xbox. I just use it to watch like Netflix and stuff on it. I used to have an Xbox, and I used to just be like a casual gamer, let's say. And I used to play like shoot 'em up games and stuff like that, just to pass the time. But there's no way that gets turned on now when I've got this to pass the time. You see, so
I suppose when you're not doing that, you want to be outside or wherever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So one or two more questions. Embarrassing moment. I spoke to one of the Williams esport racers, and he said, he was racing once, and his whole studio fell down literally on top of him. It was cataclysmic. Like everything fell to pieces. Luckily, it didn't set fire to the place or anything like that. But have you had any moments, or do you stream? Do you Twitch? Do you do any of that? That kind of stuff where things have gone wrong.
Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to top that one. I'd say that. That sounds pretty spectacular.
Thing is if your house caught fire, you wouldn't know. You'd be like, just driving,
getting warm in here. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
don't joke.
Embarrassing moment. I don't know if you could say embarrassing moment. This is pre having a sim at home. When I was at that simulator venue, I was in a big championship they had there, and there's quite a few sim races that came from sim racing to this venue to do it. So it's quite a big championship, let's say. And I was in the running for the win in the championship, and all I needed to do, I think, was just finish one place behind my rival, and I was in front of my rival, and then someone overtook him, and it just come out of nowhere, just this straight into the back of me. And my instant reaction was, you idiot. Like as you do when you're in that zone, like
Michael Douglas falling down moment live in front of everyone.
And then I managed to get back on track, and then that same guy the next lap did something similar, and all you think in your head is just like, this guy is out for me. I just lost it. And I was out the race by that point, and I just remember like throwing the headphones off of my head. Obviously,
TV screens.
And it hit the screen as well. And it's not my equipment. I felt so bad afterwards.
We've all been there.
Moment.
I've
learned to cool myself down lately about that. So, but
thing is, it's in the real world. You're in the car. No one can see you. No one can hear you. And I suppose the competition is no less fierce. You still competition's emotive at the end of the day, isn't it?
Exactly.
So the emotion's got to go somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the added effect was the fact that I was in a venue full of people.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all watching me and listening to me
Yeah.
going out like crazy. So,
Yeah.
it was just one of them. Like, I think I remember.
You just have to pretend the wasp's gone down your back or something like that.
Yeah. I just remember watching the live stream back, and you can hear it in the background, and the commentators going, "I don't think Jack's very happy with this."
No!
I think that's probably one of my embarrassing moments.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that. Right. To end, you're going to do a lap, any car, any track. You're going to set us a challenge. The viewers are going to try and beat it on first11fun.com. I'm going to try and have a crack as well, but we've covered the fact that I'll not be within 5 seconds. What car, what track?
So it's quite a funny combo, really. Like, I've got so many combos that I love, but recently I've fallen in love with this Indy Pro car, which is on iRacing. So I'll be using that Indy Pro car. And also recently I've had a mad love for the new track that's just come out on iRacing, the Long Beach.
I saw they've done all the graphics and everything there. Yeah.
So I thought, what not better to do just a lap in the 2 new cars. So
Long Beach. So yeah, good friend of mine's won a few times in IndyCar at Long Beach, Mike Conway, before he stopped. Fabulous venue. Have you ever been?
I've not, no.
Yeah, very tricky. If you've got any fillings, they'll come out. So you're going to go Indy Pro, Long Beach, and you're going to set us a lap time. Well, listen, you've been a joy to interview, Jack. Your story's brilliant. You're right on the cusp of progressing. You're just 25 years of age, and you've got a big opportunity ahead of you. And we wish you, from everyone at First 11, all the very best for the future. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much, Tom.